consulting business with my co-founder, Bob Prino. And at that time, we were a consulting business focused on helping our clients commercialize and develop advanced materials based on nanotechnology. And so for 10 years, we had a very good consulting business, more than 100 clients, profitable every year. And you say, well, why did we change that? We just had the hunger to make our own products. So we have been developing carbon nanotube products since 2015. And now we're ready to really let the world know what we can do with our transparent heaters, transparent antennas, conductive additives for lithium-ion batteries, and reinforcing additives for greener concrete. Agent is a combination of two materials. It's based on a copper micro mesh. The lines are so small that the eye really can't see them. They're 5 microns in dimension. And we print carbon nanotube inks on top of that. And carbon nanotubes are the strongest materials known. They also can conduct electricity. So when you print the carbon nanotube ink on top of the copper micromesh, you make a hybrid material that is better than either material alone. It's more transparent, more conductive, and very robust. That's the core technology behind Agent transparent heater foils. It's the combination of those materials that's the magic. The incumbent solution is based on micro wires. This is when you look through your rear window defogger, that's what you see. You see these lines going across, and it can defog, it can de-ice in a reasonable amount of time, but it's not uniform. You first see it de-ice at the lines, at the wires, and then the spaces in between take quite a bit longer. So a person can see through it, but if a sensor is looking through it, it really needs that entire surface to be clear of ice in order for the sensor to work properly. Also, people don't like looking through microwires. Once the surface is clear, ugly microwires is not what people or sensors want to look through. Our technology is a transparent heater foil. There's no microwires for people or sensors to look through, and it heats uniformly and just as fast, if not faster, than microwire. We have developed a transparent heater foil that works with all 3 ADAS sensor technologies: optical camera, LiDAR, and radar. The same exact heater foil is compatible with all 3. No other heater foil technology can make that claim. Well, during inclement weather, the ADAS sensors have a tough job to do. It's tough under ideal circumstances in order for all of that artificial intelligence processing to get done. But when that lens or lidome or radome surface is covered with snow or ice or frost, it's impossible. And so those surfaces need to be cleared. And for regulators to be satisfied, they need to be cleared within a relatively short amount of time. And that time interval most commonly is about 5 to 10 minutes is what regulations are being imposed. So within 5 to 10 minutes of the driver sitting in the car, it has to be ready to go, fully operational for the ADAS sensors. That's tough to do, especially if you limit it to standard automotive 12 volts. So that's what I see is the industry, the regulators will impose that constraint, so the OEMs must adopt a transparent heater solution that can do that job. But on top of doing that job, the sensor, it must be compatible with the sensor. If it degrades the signal fidelity of the sensor, okay, the lens may not have ice and water on it, but the sensor doesn't work well enough. So you have to be able to do both. And so there are validation tests that can confirm, can de-ice quickly enough, and is the signal integrity good enough? The key is to be able to confirm through validation testing that the system can be fully operational within that short amount of time, but also perform at a high level, because some of the heater solutions might be able to de-ice within the required amount of time, but maybe they don't play as well with the sensor systems. The sensor may not transmit and receive signals as efficiently through the heater. And so it's the combination. You have to have good de-icing performance and you have to have good sensor transmission signal integrity. Those two are important. Of course, it's the automotive industry. It has to be cost efficient. Here's our heater foil products, and they're just a thin film of plastic with our carbon nanotube and copper micromesh on top, right? And so that's a thin foil that can be laminated to a glass or plastic lens, or in this case, it can be inserted into an injection molding tool, and you can injection mold plastic against the surface. So, and this I think is going to be very popular for plastic lenses. And so on this surface you see is the transparent heater foil. It's a thin foil, and it's backed by plastic. No one has been able to make this statement. It's easy to integrate because it inserts into current supply chain designs. We can supply a film to a tier 2 supplier who can convert the film to a heater foil, and supply the heater foil to a tier 1 supplier who can provide an assembly to the OEM. So those steps are rather standard supply chain design. But the statement I'm going to give you that no one else can do is our transparent heater foil works with all 3 ADAS sensor technologies. So it's an enabling technology for cluster solutions. So why not put behind the same lens radar, LiDAR, and optical camera? No one has been thinking that way because it hasn't been possible until now.